Hi, Sarah Masha here at the Historical Society. March is Women's History Month, so I wanted to talk a little about a few of the women that I think are very important in the history of Tarrytown and Sleepy Hollow. They may not be the ones you're thinking of, but we can debate that later. So first, I'm going to point out a woman over here, and that is Mother Marie Joseph Butler. In 1907, she founded a college, an independent girls' boarding school on land that was donated to her specifically for the school by family member James Butler. James was actually a very wealthy grocery store owner. He owned over 1,000 stores at one point in time and a lot of property, and wanted to do something nice for Mother Butler. So that school became Marymount College, as many of you know, it was a flourishing girls' school for most of the 20th century. Now, when she died in 1940, she left a very strong institution that has made an impact on education across the country. Not only was it an impact as far as the school goes, but it was also a visual impact on our landscape. I'm sure every time you cross the Tappan Zee or now the New Bridge, you could look up the hill and you would see the great dome of Marymount College. That meant you were home. So that was Mother Butler. Our second person I wanted to talk to you about today is Anne V. Nixon. Now, I remember Ms. Nixon. She was actually a good friend of my mom and dad when I was growing up, and she was a child of both Tarrytown and North Tarrytown, a real community girl. She lived in both villages, attended our local schools, and later went to the New York College of Music, and then to Fordham University Law School. She was employed by the Federal Trade Commission, and when she worked there, it was 10, 12-hour days, and then she would come home and do a lot of stuff for the community. And what I mean by stuff is basically she organized the Women's Civic Club in 1956. She was a lifetime member of the NAACP local chapter. She was also on the board as a trustee and also vice chairman of the Foster Memorial AME Zion Church. She also was the local president of the AFL-CIO. Now, in 1979, she became the first black member of the school board here in the villages when she was appointed there. The following year, when she ran for a seat on the board, she received the highest votes that anybody else had ever received. And perhaps one of the reasons why was because she made an effort to reach out to the whole community. I'm actually holding here one of her campaign literature that she had sent out, one of her campaign letters, which at the time was quite progressive because not only she did it in English, but she also sent it out in Spanish. So she sent it out to the bilingual community and became a very popular board member. When Anne passed away in 1985, there was a great outpouring from the community for her, and they even created a lovely bust of her that was shown at the school for many years. So our final woman that I want to talk about today is somebody that I loved dearly, and her name was Lorraine Ancarico. And Lorraine was actually very interesting. She came from Canada. She was French-Canadian, very proud of her heritage, and she was one of 18 children. She was a seamstress, and so she actually came to the community and used her skills for many things that we had here in town. They included making costumes for Tarrytown and North Tarrytown centennials. One of this is here, and if you look behind me, you'll see many of the centennial dresses that we have here, and a couple of the other boys and men's costumes that we had here for numerous events. Not only the centennials, but school plays. Lorraine was always making a costume for. She made it for people's weddings, and all the parades that we had in town. You would see a costume or two by Lorraine walking up and down in the lines of people in the parade. Also, other historical events, including the capture of Major Andre events and things like that. But Lorraine was also a quilter. One of the things that she helped produce was this quilt that you can still see today. This is the North Tarrytown Centennial quilt that's in Village Hall still. Lorraine unfortunately did pass away in 2017, and we miss her here at the Historical Society very much. But these are three women that I do find fascinating and did so much for the community. So come by sometime and maybe I'll tell you about a few more. So thanks. Have a great day.